right, the sound of the Malarkey are coming right at you. This is your host, Matt, and with me on this special Saturday edition of the Malarkey Hour is my co-host, Mr. John. How's it going, sir?
I'm okay.
All right, let's get it started. We are doing our annual Super Bowl podcast, John. Are you ready? Yeah, John, are you ready for some football?
Yes.
I didn't quite hear you, John. Are you
ready for some football? Greetings.
Yeah.
For the last time, yes.
Okay. So we're going to do this. Our Super Bowl podcast. We do it every year. This is our second edition.
Yeah.
We do it on... We take a Saturday out of our busy schedule.
So if you're listening this year, you've at least heard half the ones.
Yes.
that we've done.
That we said, yes. Yes. So if you're hearing this, you're probably hearing this on the Sunday. Hopefully you're hearing this right before the Super Bowl. Like an hour before, and you're getting prepped. You know, one of those things like, I gotta listen to the new Malarkey Hour. I gotta hear what these guys have to say about the Super Bowl.
Get your bookies ready.
All right, because we're gonna spit gold for you. All right, and at the end of the show, we will give you our picks of who we think is gonna win.
A lot of people don't know that Super Bowl was actually filmed 6 months ago.
Yes, and we have all the answers to all the questions you have.
Yeah.
So listen up. All right, so let's start this. You know what? Let's start on. Let's not go right into it. Let's tease.
Something. My allergies are acting up, so when you hear a lot of, that's me.
Let's not jump right into it. Let's tease them a little bit, John.
I'm not partying or anything. Have to clear that up.
Okay. Glad you cleared that up. Let's tease them a little bit. Let's not go directly into Super Bowl. We'll do football. Let's talk about a little awards. We had a bunch of awards being handed out today. And let's talk about some of them. Shall we?
Okay.
Shall we? Okay. So the big one, obviously, was the MVP. And for the second time in his career, Aaron Rodgers wins the MVP for the year. He's the NFL MVP. What do you think about that, John?
I guess.
Were you a J.J. Watt guy, or were you a...
I was a J.J. Watt guy.
Like you think he should have been...
I'm just a little tired of quarterbacks getting it. Especially, he didn't break crazy records.
Yeah.
I understand why Manning got it last year.
Yeah.
He had like 7. He had the most touchdowns in a game, tied. He had most touchdown passes in a season?
I think, yeah. I think
he broke like 3 records.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand that last year.
And then considering, like, it is a passing league now, you would think that should be just standard. Like, it's not like they're asking for a lot.
Right.
But
I don't even have his stats in front of me. But, Ben Roethlisberger had almost identical stats.
Yeah.
At least career-wise. I mean, I know the season wasn't the best, but
yeah,
by his standards, he had his best year of his career.
Yeah.
And he's been to the Super Bowl 3 times.
Yeah, people forget. Yeah, he's won 2 and he's been to 3.
So
the only other quarterback that's playing right now that can say the same are Manning and Brady.
Right.
Yeah.
Think Manning's coming back?
Do I think he's coming back? I think he's coming back.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Think Kobe's coming back? Get all off topic here.
I think Kobe's coming back.
Yeah, me too.
Well, it's pretty boring. I wish there was at least one disagreement.
We'll see you next year.
All right. Back to Rodgers. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, if you look at his numbers, it really was. He didn't really put gaudy numbers up. I'm looking right here, just randomly. He led the NFL in touchdown to interception ratio, 38 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. And he did finish second in passer rating and yards per attempt. Passer rating was 112.2, and his yards per attempt was 8.43. And he was third in touchdown passes. But like you said, it wasn't anything. He wasn't putting up any crazy numbers. And J.J. Watt, he was the only guy in the history of the NFL to put up multiple 20-sack seasons.
Very nice. He's always bleeding from his forehead.
And he's always bleeding from his forehead and or nose. So yeah. I mean, it's. I agree with you. I do think J.J. Watt.
I wanted to see something different.
He did deserve. I think the only defensive player to ever win it is Lawrence Taylor.
When was the last time a running back won it?
Oh, it's been a while. I think, who was the last one? Was it Adrian Peterson? Did Adrian Peterson win the MVP? Or he just won the Russian title?
And just
When he put it up 2,000, right?
I think it was just the Russian title.
Yeah, he didn't win.
That was last year.
Was that last year? Or was it the year before?
I think it was just last year.
Okay.
Because this year Murray and last year was Peterson, right?
Yeah.
Or was it Murray this year?
Yeah, it was Murray this year.
Because Manning won last year. I think Manning's year was Peterson's year.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, yeah.
Or Manning's big comeback year was last year, and that was...
You might be right. It's it'd probably be a really easy argument to just Google, but it's better to not know. But
that's why it's called the Malarkey Hour.
Exactly.
We don't have facts.
No, of course not. So Aaron Rodgers got 31 of the MVP votes. J.J. Watt was second with 13, and then everybody else, the next closest was with 2. Tony Romo, then Marco Murray got 2. Tom Brady got 1, and Bobby Wagner for Seattle got 1. That's weird, but okay. So
You know, if you have a good slogan for
What?
the Malarkey Hour.
what was that?
We don't have facts, but we have facts, and then give them a fax number. Because that's how out of date shit we are.
That was funny.
Fax us your questions.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Lame ass shit.
Let's see. But you know what, JJ Watt, he might not won the MVP, but he did win the Defensive Player of the Year with a unanimous vote. So there was nobody else anybody thought should have won. So at least he got that.
Unanimity.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians won Coach of the Year.
I like that.
The Arizona coach. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
They were winning with like 3 different quarterbacks.
Yeah. That defense was pretty good. That offense stunk. So,
You wonder what would have happened
if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Yeah,
Their quarterback,
what's his
Carson
name?
Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer.
Yeah. You wonder, yeah, because, I mean, they were doing pretty well. I mean, and you need to score points.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told. That's how you win games. You score more points than the other team.
Right.
Or at least that's how I was taught football. I don't know how you were taught football, but I was taught that,
Yeah, that's what I've heard throughout the years.
Yeah. So, hopefully we're not giving you weird information here about it, but yeah, that's how I was taught. And the NFL Offensive Player of the Year award was given to DeMarco Murray, who you know what, he pretty much did run away with the award. I mean, he was probably the most electric offensive player this year.
I don't mind that.
He started the season strong, and he ended it pretty well. I mean, everybody thought he was going to break the rushing record, and that's a lot to ask from.
He ended it with a good old fashioned fumble.
Yeah. But no, it's very deserving, I think. And the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year was given to Odell Beckham Jr., the man with the huge hands that plays for the New York Giants. So.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
He's going to be good for a lot of years. NFL Comeback Player of the Year was given to Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk.
I guess.
Wow, they give a lot of. I didn't realize how many awards they give out. The NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year was given to St. Louis tackle Aaron Donald. The NFL Assistant Coach of the Year was given to Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator of the Cardinals. So I mean that makes sense. I mean the Cardinals probably, other than Seattle, probably had the best defense in the NFL. So
would rather seen them play each other than Carolina.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we got to have a representative from every conference. The NFC South sucks.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the awards that were given out. We're talking about it off the air, but I don't know. Maybe I don't pay attention to it every year, but it's weird that they're giving these awards out. Do they do it? I don't know if they do it every year, the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know.
I always thought it was around the Pro Bowl, like that week. But
yeah, I don't think it usually is the day before.
It isn't, right? Like I'm not imagining that. I don't know.
I don't know. All the losers got an award, so
Right?
We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from the NFL losers.
I know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't know. moving on from the NFL losers, let's talk about the winner, John. Let's talk about the people who are in it. Let's not talk about the losers, because who cares about losers? It's either you're a winner or you're a loser, right?
Yeah.
So these are the two winners.
Is it true if you don't use it, you lose it?
I've heard that.
Okay.
So we have the NFC champ, Seattle Seahawks, going up against the AFC champ, the New England Patriots, John.
Go football.
You got a Seahawk going against a Patriot. So, let's backtrack a little bit and let's look at them in the beginning of the year, John, because you know what, they were the early favorites. They were the preseason favorites to go to the Super Bowl. Would you agree with that statement?
You're talking about Seattle.
Seattle and Patriots. You would consider them each one for each conference the favorites to just make it to the Super Bowl, right? For the most part.
Were they the preseason favorites?
You know what? That's something
Or is that just something you're saying?
It's something I believe. Maybe not the Seahawks, just because historically, the last
I think they're
Super Bowl
definitely-
champs don't really repeat. Like, I think the Cardinals were the first defending Super Bowl champ to win a playoff game in like 6 years. I think that's so. But maybe them not as much as the Patriots. But the Patriots were definitely a favorite to make the Super Bowl.
No, they should be a favorite every year. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, actually have it right here.
Mm-hmm.
It was Seattle, and
Seattle.
Number 2 was New England.
Because I remember picking both of them to.
Number 3 was a 2-way tie between the Packers and the Broncos.
Okay, that makes sense.
And everybody else goes anywhere from 20 to 300 to 1. But you know who surprisingly was one of the 3 20 to 1s was the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Colts.
Yeah, the Cowboys overachieved.
For some reason, the Cowboys were favored over San Francisco before the season started. That surprises me.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting.
That's weird, because
Yeah.
everybody who talks football had the Chargers in it.
I had San Francisco and I had New Orleans and a couple of teams.
You know what? I was one of the people who wasn't that big of a fan of the 49ers coming in. My theory was, and I don't think I guess I was sort of right. I just felt like they were in it every year for the last 3 years. It's just sometimes with that same coach, sort of the same team, it gets a little tired, and you get fatigued.
One of the best coaches ever?
I don't know about ever, but pretty good.
I like him.
I like him too.
No, he's not there anymore.
No.
You ever see two people get more excited than Pete Carroll or Jim Harbaugh, even though it's like a weird, angry excitement?
Yeah, I know.
He's really mad or confused, or like he wants to go out there and play himself.
Yeah.
Just get that
he does get that when he disagrees with the call. He gets confused. Like, why did you make that call?
Just leaning over with his hands on his hips, and he's just like watching the line and screaming and running up and down.
Yeah.
He is so into the game, and as opposed to Bill Belichick, who's kind of just staring, but he sees things that nobody else sees. And
because he has a camera in the locker room of the opposing team, so he sees everything.
That little mic in Tom Brady's helmet that never turns off.
Never turns off. Even when Tom goes home, he a lot of people don't know this, but Belichick gives him pointers during sex.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, he tells them,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's the reason Brady's been married for so many years to a beautiful supermodel, because Belichick's always been in his ear, just guiding him. He guides him through the field and off the field, John.
Right.
So
it's creepy.
No.
They are very close.
No, Tom. Too much Tom. No. You gotta slow down.
Creepy.
Okay, so so these two teams are they were the clear favorites, and it doesn't happen every year. It doesn't happen many years where the preseason favorites pretty much make it.
I had Oakland. I had Jacksonville. I had Tampa Bay.
I don't know, John. None of them panned out. Okay,
Jesus.
Okay,
That's a lot of wasted money.
There was a lot of wasted money. So coming into the season, they were clearly the favorites, and then the season started, and they didn't come out so well. Let's look at the Patriots. number one reason for the early struggles?
Offensive line?
Exactly, offensive line. They had a terrible offensive line.
They kept putting Brady in a corner.
They kept putting Brady in a corner. But, somehow Belichick worked his magic, and then he finally figured out, you know what? We've been playing with properly inflated footballs this whole season. What the hell? Like, let's go back to the Patriots way.
What's funny is, they have that, I don't even know, 10 out of, I'm tired of talking about 10 out of 11 balls.
Yeah, 11 out of 12, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Do you think they, have they been checking this regularly?
We'll get into that.
I'm curious about
that. We'll get into that in a few points.
What if, this is the first time they've checked it all year?
Yeah, we'll get into that in a few points.
I hadn't thought about that till right now.
I do want to talk about Deflategate or whatever, but we'll talk about it in a few points. So their offensive line was a mess, right? They didn't start out too hot. They lost. They were, 3-3, I believe? I'm not looking at it right now.
I just know they were hitting Brady, and Brady didn't like it.
He did not like it. They lost their first game. I think they got blown out by Kansas City in a Monday night game. Then after that game, it's almost like they flipped the switch. They finally figured out their offensive line problems. Brady, I
took them early in my suicide pool because I thought they were going to suck.
Yeah?
Yeah. After watching a couple of games, I think I took them in week 4.
And then I convinced you to take the gun out of your mouth. And
yeah.
I said, your suicide pool, Johnny.
I just like the way it tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Strawberry flavored.
Yeah, and you jump off the bandwagon. You abandoned the Patriots, John. I was stuck by myself on this bandwagon.
Yeah,
with a bunch of other New Englanders, but
bunch of other a-holes.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, it's interesting because they both, let's look at Seattle. We'll get back to Patriots and the Deflategate after Seattle. But so the Seattle had the same thing. They had early struggles. Preseason favorites, and then they started the season and they weren't playing too well, John.
No, they weren't.
What in your estimation was their problem early on?
They were trying to play like the old Patriots, where Tom Brady had all day to throw the football.
You think that's the problem?
Yes. Also, they were pass first, which they're still pass first. It seems that way. Mm-hmm. But still, who did they steal? What's his name? Blunt from the Steelers. Even though he's broken their playoff records, as far as rushing yards, even just so far in these first 2 games. Mm-hmm. But no, I think they were going for.
You're talking about Seattle, right?
No, I thought we were talking about New England.
No. We're talking about Seattle.
Sorry, I was looking at something. Okay. What was the question?
That
was I think New England's problem is they were going.
Oh yeah.
He was spending too much time in the pocket.
Yeah, part of it was that, and part of it he didn't have a lot of time. Yeah, so he was trying to get time when there wasn't. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but I think New England's problem was just I think it was as simple as identity. They just forgot. Okay, we got to run the football a little bit. We can't just be throwing it.
Yeah,
we don't have the receivers to do that.
We're not the 16-0 team that we were.
And then part of it too is they got Gronkowski back, and I mean that helps a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
He's right there in the middle for your 6 yards.
Yeah. So okay. So they had their problems, and then we're going to Seahawks, who had the same thing. Preseason favorites. Season starts, and they aren't the Seahawks that everybody remembers. What do you think Seahawks' problem was early on, in your estimation?
They lost. Didn't they lose a couple of wide receivers? They lost Golden Tate before the season started, right?
Golden Tate is with the Lions.
Where'd Golden Tate play last year?
He played with the Seahawks.
Okay. Well, they didn't have him.
Oh, I thought you meant they lost him early in the season.
No, what you're saying was the problem early.
Before, yeah.
I'm talking about early in the season.
Okay.
I'm saying their problem was offense.
Yeah.
I mean, their defense was never questioned all year.
Well, okay. Yeah, okay.
Was it?
Yeah, sort of. But continue, I'm sorry.
They did allow, I think their most points allowed was, I don't have anything in front of me.
No.
At the beginning of the year.
I mean, I'm just asking from just your memory of watching early games of them play.
I think their problem is anytime they lose is offense.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever really blame their defense because
you know what?
It's better than almost every team in the NFL.
I will say this, okay, and this is This is from what I think their problem was defensively early on. They were just injured. You had Cam Chancellor was coming off an injury.
Okay.
You had they lost a lot of defensive guys too. People forget they lost what was their defensive end who went to Jacksonville. I'm blanking on his name. They lost him. Didn't they lose Browner? Browner's playing for the Patriots now. They lost Browner on the offseason.
Browner went from Seattle to New England?
Yeah, he went to Seattle to New England.
How long was Chancellor out?
Well, he wasn't out. He was just hurt, and he was playing hurt for most of the early season. So I mean, defensively, you know what? They're still good defensively. They just weren't. Just weren't the Seahawks defense that we're used to. So I mean, you can tell the difference, but they're still good defensively.
I don't know. Like I have their schedule right here, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Green Bay, right? They won 36-16.
Yeah, but then
okay, this is just going to be points allowed. Okay, wins or losses. I'm not even going to say if they're wins or losses. 16 allowed points there. Yeah, it's Green Bay.
Yeah,
they allowed. They allowed 30. That was a big one.
And they lost that one.
Of course, they lost that one. Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat. Yeah. Then they allowed 20.
Yeah,
and that was an overtime game against Denver.
And they won that one.
Right. They allowed 17. They allowed 30.
And then they lost. Yeah, they lost that one.
They allowed 28.
And they lost that one too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were 3-3 at one point.
Look at these numbers now. This is back in late October, week 8, middle of the season. Okay, allowed 9.
Wasn't even a touchdown in that game.
Allowed 24. Kind of a lot, but okay.
Yeah.
For them. Allowed 17. Allowed 24. Allowed 3. Allowed 3. Allowed 14. Allowed 7. Allowed 6.
Yeah.
Allowed 6.
Yeah. Yeah, their last, I think, 7 weeks is crazy. Yeah.
So let's just call it defense now.
Yeah.
Now that I've looked at this.
Yeah. Yeah, defensively, it's all it was. It was just they were working. They lost some guys.
Dude, look at 12 through 16. 3,
no,
3,
yeah,
3.
No, it's ridiculous.
I just want to say it again. 3, 3, 14, 7, 6, 6.
Yeah, no, yeah. They were back to playing the Seahawks defense we're used to play them. And you know, part of it is, like I said, they were hurt early on. They lost some guys. They were adjusting to that. Now let's go to the offensive side. And this is what I think. I think early on they were remember they picked up a guy named Percy Harvin who's going to be this playmaker, and I think early on they were really trying to. Remember they lost him last year. They weren't really able to use them last year.
The receivers aren't even stars anymore.
No, they don't have any star wide receivers.
Yeah, because I mean I remember Golden Tate last year. I mean they started the season without him.
Yeah,
and I remember the Percy Harvin trade, and I was like, what the hell?
And then Percy Harvin got hurt.
Yeah, I was like, why would they do that?
Oh yeah, you're talking about this year. Yeah.
The Percy Harvin. Well, they traded him.
Yeah, they traded him away.
Yeah, I'm saying. So it's like those are the two. I mean, if you look at the last year's Super Bowl, those are two major players.
No, and then that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, it's they have this. They got Percy Harvin last year, and then he got hurt last year. They didn't really use him. He didn't even play in the Super Bowl, and then they got him back this year. And I think, especially on offensive, the offensive side is they lost track of
who won their MVP last year. Was it Chancellor?
For the Super Bowl, it was Wilson.
Oh, Wilson?
It was Wilson.
Okay,
so
Wilson to Wilson.
Wilson to Wilson. So they lost track of who they were offensively. They tried to incorporate Harvin too much because he was supposed to be this offensive, explosion, and they lost track. They lost we have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. Let's run him. So bless you.
Bless me.
Bless you.
We did this to fill up time.
So one of the smartest things they did during the year was get rid of Harvin.
Yeah.
That way they don't have to worry about that. You run the ball with Lynch.
What
you
do
run the
you
ball with
think
Wilson.
He did?
I don't think he did anything. I think it was just part of. Yeah, they just needed to get rid of
internal conflict.
They say that, but I bet you there's internal conflict with almost any locker room. There's trouble.
Why do you get rid of your basically one of your best wide
receivers?
Because
I think that's my point. It's just I think he hurt them more than he helped them. They weren't who they are offensively with him, and they lost their identity. And like you said, with the Patriots, they lost their identity, and they got rid of him. They started running the ball with Lynch. They started running the ball with Wilson, Russell, now Luke, and it's a big 180.
Now we need Doug Baldwin to come through.
So, both teams had their struggles early. I think it was just a matter of them making adjustments because they're still two great teams. So
They're all right.
yeah. Okay, so let's you want to do a little prop bets? Some prop bets?
Yeah, those are fun. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll do the middle of the podcast. We'll do prop bets, and then we'll go back to the matchup. These are always fun because the Super Bowl is one of the most bet on games of the year, if not the most.
$1,000 on heads or tails last year.
Didn't you?
Fucking coin toss.
And we'll get to that. Let's start first.
I've known
that?
somebody that's done that.
He put $1,000 on the coin toss.
Yeah, he won.
He won, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Let's go through some of them. Okay, so let's get that one. Okay. Will Idina Menzel forget or omit at least one word of the official U.S. national anthem? It is plus 400, yes. Minus 600, no. More likely she isn't.
Probably not.
Yeah, so that's the reason we got no as the favorite. Okay, how many times will deflated balls be referred during the game? Over, under, 2.5.
Probably under.
Yeah, because I think the story started dying down. Will Marshawn Lynch be fined by the NFL for any incident on media day? This is a little older. Yes, plus 400. No, 600. Minus 600.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
A little late there.
Let's keep going. This is a funny one. Which color will Bill Belichick's hoodie be? Gray, blue, or red?
Hold on. Red.
7-1 odds. Okay.
What's normal? Blue, right?
Huh? Gray is the favorite.
Gray.
Yeah. So, we have Bill Belichick's...
Senator Palpatine.
This is even funnier. Bill Belichick's hoodie type. Minus 150 for sleeves cut, plus 110 for sleeves intact. So is it going to be circumcised or uncircumcised? His hoodie.
He is usually circumcised.
He is usually circumcised, right? So that's the favorite. Yeah, minus 150 for a cut. Oh, this is even funnier. Will Bill Belichick smile during the game on camera? Yes, plus 150. No,
how do you
minus 200.
gauge a smile?
I know, yeah. How do you gauge? That's going to be the hardest one to collect on. How do you gauge?
Right. It's more of a smirk. Fucking argue with my bookie.
Right. Arguing whether what constitutes a smirk or smile.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Katy, I don't care about Katy Perry.
That's the only reason I'm watching.
Really?
No.
That's interesting. Will Al Michaels refer to the point spread, total odds on who wins game, or any prop bets? Yes, plus 200.
They usually don't.
No, minus 300.
They usually do that before the game.
Yeah.
Like days before, but not during.
Yeah, not during. Yeah. So.
I actually think the NFL tells them not to, in my opinion.
Probably. Okay. This is sort of a weird one, but I guess I think it doesn't happen a lot. Will it be mentioned that Pete Carroll was the last head coach of the Patriots? Yes, plus 110. No, minus 150. I think it's only happened like 4 or 5 times where a coach faces his former team in the Super Bowl.
I'd throw something at yes. It's possible, yeah.
Well,
why not? Sure. Getting plus money. I say it's more of a 50-50 bet in my head.
Yeah. Okay, so who will the Super Bowl MVP mention first in his interview? Teammates, God, fans / city, coach, family, owner, or does not mention any of the above? Teammates 3-2 odds, God 5-1, fans city 15-2, coach 12-1, family 12-1, owner 12-1, or none of the above 2-1 odds.
They always mention God.
Yeah, God's probably. I would put my money on God.
All right. God's always a favorite.
Okay. This is a funny one. What will happen with the Dow Jones the day after the Super Bowl? Will it be an up market, minus 140, or a down market, even money?
Just look at last week. I think we'll say up. I don't think the Super Bowl is going to affect a lot of it.
I don't think so either.
Guacamole is up.
Right. The commodities market.
Beer is up.
It's just the commodities market. Okay, I don't know if you already did his pick, but who will Barack Obama pick to win the game? New England, minus 140. Seattle, even
Is he
money.
going to have his infamous Bill O'Reilly interview? I just had a few on Super Bowl Sunday.
You know,
And Obama always invites him to the party.
Yeah, he always does.
He never goes.
He's very great. He's very nice host. You know,
Yeah.
it's his enemies too. What will be higher, Russell Wilson passing yards, or U.S. national average gas price in cents on Monday?
So if it's like $1.50, that means he passed for 150.
Yeah, in cents. Yeah, so 150 cents. Yeah. So
Actually, I'm gonna say Wilson,
Wilson, it's probably.
but it's gonna be close.
You got to take the average, the U.S. average.
I'm just thinking like $1.85 in my head.
Yeah, I don't know what the U.S. Yeah, it's probably around a little bit less than $2 right now. Okay, this one's interesting. It's a parlay into the next day. It's the Groundhog Day parlay, John. So you got Punxsutawney. How do you pronounce the name? Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog.
Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney Phil sees shadow, and Patriots win the Super Bowl. Phil does not see a shadow, is shadow, and Patriots win. Or he does see a shadow, the Seahawks win. Or he does not see a shadow, and the Seahawks win. So that's also a parlay you could do.
Right.
To the next day.
Pick a team, and Groundhog dies.
That's a heart attack.
Plus 4,000.
That's a heart attack. Okay, so these are a little bit more serious. Patriots player prop stats. Okay, so we got total passing yards, Tom Brady, over under 260.5.
I was just going to guess it, and I was going to say, don't tell me.
My bad.
I was going to say 249.
Ah.
In my head. Well, I had it at 249 in my head, so I guess I'm under.
There you go. Total passing attempts by Tom Brady.
A lot.
How much you think the over under?
39.
Ooh, 35.5.
Okay.
Okay. Let's skip over some of these. Let's do total touchdowns. Brady.
He has to pass him?
You know what? Let me see.
Or is that for the Patriots?
Total TT touchdowns. You know what? They don't. I don't know because they have they don't have these labeled right because they have total TD passes. Yeah, it is passes, but they have it twice. I don't know why they have it twice. They actually have it 3 times.
I don't know. What's the number?
Nah, I'm skipping because I don't understand it. It's actually 3 times. They have one at 1.5. They have one at 2, and they have one at 2.5.
Over.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's skip over that. I don't care about that. Okay, let's go down to Seattle because I really don't care about their Patriots. That's a lot of bets. It's a lot of prop bets, John. Are you going to be participating in these prop bets?
I usually don't.
Usually don't. You don't believe in prop bets?
I'll do some maybe for like $20, $25.
Yeah.
But,
okay. Okay, so we got
usually I just bet a month's worth of money on the game.
Okay, we got the Seahawks player stat props. Okay, so we got total passing yards for Russell Wilson. What do you think the over-under is on that for Russell? You guessed 249 for Brady. How much do you think Russell Wilson has over-under?
Lower.
You're right.
158.
Wow. 219.5.
It's higher than I thought.
So you think the under then? You're going to take the under on that one.
I don't know. I just because I said that doesn't mean that's what I think.
You should. That's what you
I was
thought.
just thinking what they would put it at.
Put it at.
Well, that sound. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's my expert opinion. You can take that one.
Yeah, you can take that. Take that to your credit union, local credit union. Let's see. Let's do some Marshawn Lynch ones. Total yards for Marshawn Lynch. How much do you think the over under is on that one?
100
92.5.
and what?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're going. I think you just bet 100. You took a long time to say "and." That's why. My bad.
I was gonna say 112.
92.5. My bad. You took a long time to say "and." That's why you paused way too long between your 100 and your "and."
I was gonna say 112.
You need to say "and" right after you say 100. Because I just assumed you stopped. I'm like, okay.
I was 20 yards off. I should have just stopped. I'd have been way closer.
Well, let's just stop with the Seahawks. Let's keep going. Let's keep going down. Another bunch of Seahawks.
You're one of those national anthem bets. There.
We already did it. They had two.
They usually have the time too, whether they go over or under.
You know what? They don't have it on this one. I'm sure that you could find another one. Let's see. Okay, we got the coin toss. Team to win the coin toss. New England, Seahawks. They're both minus 105 for both teams. This pretty much is a 50-50. Like same thing with the coin toss. Heads minus 105, tails minus 105.
I suggest if you're going to bet on that, flip a coin.
Right. Will the team that wins the coin toss win the game? Yes or no? Minus 115 for each side.
You're going to bet on that, flip a coin.
This is interesting. Will the team that chooses heads or tails in the coin toss be correct? Yes or no? This is really fucking complicated. You do all of these.
If you're going to bet on that, flip a coin.
Team to score first in the game. They're both at minus 115.
If you're going to bet on that, flip a coin.
Pretty much all these are flip a coin. First score of the game by the New England Patriots. A touchdown or a field goal or safety. So touchdowns minus 180, field goal or safety plus 150. So obviously they're more like
touchdown.
Yeah. They have the same thing for the Seahawks. That's not interesting.
Dun, 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 dun. What is that on NBC?
It is on NBC. Yeah, so I think it's the best broadcasting team in football right now.
They're doing the Al Michaels thing.
Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth.
And we know is the line 1 point, right?
Okay, so all right. Enough about prop bets.
Ooh,
What's that?
My book here has Seattle -1 now.
Oh, really?
It's gonna jump back and forth. By game time, it might be New England again.
Okay, let's delay that because we're gonna say that for the end. Let's talk about the matchup, John. Some of the more interesting aspects of this of these two teams. Okay, so you got both teams who are basically built to stop the top wide receivers in the NFL. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, they both have the two top corners.
Exactly. They got Darrelle Revis and with the Patriots, and you have Richard Sherman with the Seahawks. They both could shut down top wide receivers in the NFL. Both really good at it. And they're both facing teams that don't have any, what you would call, elite wide receivers.
Right.
Neither team has what you would call an elite wide receiver. Like
New England's best wide receiver is their tight end.
That's a tight end, exactly. And the Seahawks probably best wide receiver is probably the running back. Or Wilson.
I was going to say Wilson to Wilson.
Yeah. So
Gumble to gumble.
So basically, both teams have this. Their one of their strengths is not they don't have to use it. It's wasted. Like it's not wasted, but it probably won't come into play
Let him
much.
down the field. I don't know about all that.
No, but you know what I mean. Like it's like you're preparing for a really cold day and you get a bunch of jackets on. You go outside and it's 80 degrees. You're like, fuck, I don't need all these jackets for. I'm over prepared.
What the hell are you talking about?
No, but like it's the same thing with these two teams. They have these top elite secondaries that they're not being wasted, but it's just it's overkill. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Especially, I'm surprised. Usually, New England has some baller out there, and this year they don't. You know.
They haven't really have a wide receiver in a while since what Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Welker.
It just seems. Welker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess New England's just been quiet for a couple of years, so
Yeah.
they don't really look at them.
So you look at that matchup. Okay, that's a wash, right? They don't.
They've only been in 6 Super Bowls? How many? 5?
Only 6.
6?
Yeah.
Brady?
Only 6. Brady and Belichick. I think this is Belichick's 6 as a head coach.
He's won 3?
Brady and Belichick, they won 3.
3 and 2?
They're 3 and 2.
2 losses to the Giants.
Yes. Yes.
2 losses to Rain Man and
The Giants.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the coach's name called? Old Man Coughlin.
Oh man, Coughlin. Oh man, Coughlin got himself 2 Super Bowl rings, John. Oh man, Coughlin.
Get out there, play football.
Okay, so okay.
That's Dick LeBeau right there.
Okay, so he got the wide receivers covered. Okay, so let's look at another matchup. The 2 quarterbacks. You got Brady, who's an all-time great, and it's still great, still pretty great, right?
That football definitely is thrown much better from him than it would from me.
And then you got Russell Wilson, who's for what is this, his 3rd year, 4th year?
Yeah, 3rd year.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
I think it's 3rd year, right?
3rd year, even if it's 4th year, it's pretty impressive. Even to say this is his 4th year, worst case scenario is his 4th year. Half your time in the NFL, you go to Super Bowl. That's pretty impressive for a young quarterback.
Find out here.
And if it's just 3rd year, it's even more impressive.
Right.
66% of his time in the NFL, he goes to the Super Bowl. Pretty good start to his career. Similar to Brady. Brady,
You forget that I put up like Russell Wilson drafted. It comes up with the Colorado Rockies. I keep forgetting.
Oh, he got drafted by
yeah.
the.
I think he might be talented.
So you got 2 him 2 elite
Rookie
quarterbacks.
year was 2012.
Yeah,
so
so
that means 2013 at the end of the year. So 13, 14. Yeah, 3rd year.
3rd year. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Same thing with Brady. Didn't Brady go to 3? Actually, he went to 3 Super Bowls in his first 4 years.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So I mean, they both have that in common.
He took over when what's his name got hurt.
Yeah.
Think of it as
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah,
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, Bledsoe.
Okay.
Then Bledsoe went to the Cowboys and tore it up.
Tore it up. Yes. And by that we mean his ACL.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll never get untorn.
Okay, so they're both elite quarterbacks. Okay, so who do you think has the easier time?
What do you mean time?
Like the easier how do you say it? Yeah, the easier time. Like who do you think it's not, I don't want to say it's gonna perform better, but like yeah, who has the easier task in front of him? Wilson or Brady?
I don't think I could even answer that question.
You can't.
Easier. I don't think any of this is going to be.
No, none of this is going to be. There's a reason this game is close to a pick'em. 2 evenly matched teams, but I'm just trying to break it down.
Russell Wilson seems mature, very mature, like way more mature than us.
Yeah, and he's way younger than us.
Yeah.
Well, he's way younger than you.
Yeah.
He's about a year younger than me, but
Okay, if you want to lie to everybody, go. That's fine.
No, so yeah, he's very mature for his age. Okay, so
I don't think he doesn't get rattled. Brady just gets angry, but I think when he gets angry, he plays better.
yeah.
So I don't know how to answer that when you say easier.
I think I can answer.
I mean, I could say that Russell Wilson has an extra tool that Brady doesn't have, which is running the football.
Exactly. Okay, so that's what I was gonna say. I think
Okay.
Wilson has slightly easier time because he does have a running game. Now you saw LeGarrette Blount run it like crazy in the AFC Championship, but he was going against it in the defensive that defense it's geared more towards protecting the pass. They're not really a good run defense, so it's Seahawks are gonna be a little bit harder. But I think Wilson has a little easier time because he does have an elite running back. Brady doesn't.
Right, but Blunt has shown up.
Yeah, he has shown up.
He is their all-time playoff rusher.
That's crazy.
Of all
right?
time, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like in 2 games here.
Yeah. So, I would give the edge to Wilson, in this case.
As a quarterback, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You won't let to run
until it's time to throw the football.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Wilson, obviously he could still run it. So.
Yeah. I think Brady can hit the sweet spots better than Wilson.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't mean I could catch it, but.
Okay, so one last point before we give your picks. Let's talk a little bit about both teams have had controversies coming into the Super Bowl. I think both of them are sort of silly, but I think one's a little bit more serious.
Nothing funny about rape, Matt. I know you wanted to jump with your rape jokes here, but I don't think this is the time.
Okay. So on Seahawks side,
took away 10 minutes from the podcast.
So on the Seahawks side, we had the whole Marshawn Lynch doesn't want to talk to reporters angle that has been making the rounds. What do you think about that? What do you think? Do you think
it's annoying? I don't think it's funny, but at the same time, can they fine him? I don't know.
You don't think the situation? What do you mean? What about the situation isn't funny that you think people think it's funny?
I mean, I don't think it's funny. If I was a reporter, I'd be really pissed.
Oh, like him doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I will say this. I like Marshawn Lynch. He's one of my favorite NFL players. I don't have an NFL team, but he's one of my favorite NFL players.
Because then he goes, have you seen
I
that?
think, but with the caveat is, I think he's very childish by saying he doesn't want to talk to the media. Because you don't always say to him, by doing this, you're drawing more attention to yourself, which I think that's what he wants. Like, secretly, I do think there's an ulterior motive. By him making such a big show of, like, I don't want to talk to reporters, he does want the attention. Because I always say this, because there's another way of going at this. There's a lot of players that don't like talking to the media. Well, let's pick a player in random. Maybe a little biased. Let's pick Kawhi Leonard, who plays for the San Antonio Spurs. Man who does not like to speak.
Houston.
The man does not like to speak, right? That's been proven. But do you ever hear him like, oh, like, Kawhi's not going to come to the podium? No, he just goes up. He gives his boring answers.
For that matter, Tim Duncan doesn't like to talk.
But do you ever hear him like, oh, he's going to get fined because he's not? No, he goes, he does his thing. He obviously doesn't want to be there, but he does it, and he doesn't. You don't hear anything about it. Marshawn Lynch could do the same thing. Yeah, but he chooses to, because he wants the attention, he chooses to make this big spectacle of it.
You think he should get fined?
And that's where it comes to, like, it's tough saying. I understand why they do it, because otherwise, everybody's paid. It's like, how come he doesn't have to do it? If he doesn't have to do it, I don't want to do it. So they get into that situation where, and you know what? And the media does sort of push this engine that is the NFL forward.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously the NFL wants its players to speak. So, I mean, I understand why they have this in play. Finding players, you got to show up. It's a requirement. It's like with any job. There's a lot of stuff. If people out there have jobs, there's a lot of requirements in their jobs they don't want to do. It's like, I don't want to wear pants when I go to work, John, but it's a requirement.
Yeah. No, I never want to wear pants.
Yeah.
No. I'm not wearing pants now.
Yeah, but I'm more lenient than most bosses.
I don't know you're my boss.
I'm your boss, John. That's all your boss. Who signs your checks?
I haven't been getting any checks for about
You haven't?
3 weeks now.
I've been mailing them out, John. I'm pretty sure I mailed them. I mailed all the checks out too.
You told me we were restructuring the company.
We are. I told you you got to be patient.
And
With...
you said to take these stock options instead.
John, the stock options are worth its weight in gold. The stock options.
Can I play this?
Go ahead.
It's just a cliche of what we've been talking about.
What is it?
Here. Not the cliche, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's just his Super Bowl media compilation.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answer, so y'all can shoot if y'all please. I'm here so I won't get fined. 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 I'm just here so I won't get fined. Hey, I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. Hey, I'm here so I won't get fined, boss. Hey, I'm just here so I won't
Changed
get
it with
fined.
the boss.
With the boss.
Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Threw in a boss.
I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
How much has he been fined?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Like $250,000?
So I won't get fined, boss.
Maybe, yeah, but a
Just
lot.
here so I won't get fined. So I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. And I'm just here so I won't get fined. Time.
He actually puts the time on his phone.
It's 5 minutes, yeah. Because that's a requirement. He has to do at least 5 minutes. You know, and with that, okay. What he's doing is childish, whatever. But, you know, on the flip side, though, if you're the media...
Making money.
Yeah, if you're the media, stop fucking asking him questions.
I know, I wouldn't be there.
Yeah, just don't be there. As simple as that. Media's being just as childish as him. It's like when, two kids are fighting and, obviously they're both being stupid. It's the same thing. It's just...
And then you get them both with a switch.
Yeah, you just slap the shit
That's
out
my
of him.
friend Adrian taught me.
Yes.
I'm not going to say his last name, though, because we don't do that on the air.
Yeah. Mr. Gomez.
Adrian Smith.
I don't know which Adrian's I want. Okay, so
Beat him with a switch.
It's okay. So for the on the media's viewpoint,
Just kidding. Child abuse is very serious.
Very serious. Yes.
And we'll give an 800 number on the website.
I actually give 50% of our profits to
That's where my
the
checks
charity.
are going.
yes, to a charity against child abuse.
And checks are going to your tax.
Yeah, so
tax cuts.
my tax shelter that I created. No, so
This isn't even a real charity.
so for the if you're looking for you're not getting any what is it you're getting from this? This is lazy
Insight.
This is lazy journalism because this is an easy thing to write. You just say, "Oh, look, here's Marshall Lynch doing a Marshall Lynch thing again." Very lazy journalism. Just move on from it.
You've seen the Progressive commercial, right?
Yeah.
I think that's dude. He's making money by not answering questions.
Oh yeah.
That's what I find funny.
Yeah. So, it's I don't know.
Is it Progressive? Or am I thinking of... No, which is the one with Flo? Is that Progressive?
That's Progressive.
Okay.
So moving from the Seattle side, let's go to the other team, the Patriots. I don't know if you heard, John, but there's been a little controversy on the Patriots side as well. Have you heard of a certain thing that got labeled as Deflategate? I'm taking it you heard about this.
No, I don't know. Tell me.
So apparently they were accused of in the AFC Championship having 11 of the 12 game balls that they used being inflated to not its proper levels. It was a little underinflated balls. about 1 psi to 2 psi underinflated. Now, what's been said is this makes it easier for the quarterback to throw the ball and for the wide receiver to catch it.
It's the quarterback's preference, from what I've heard, but
Yes.
yeah.
So apparently this practice started back in 2006, if I remember correctly. And the two biggest proponents of this rule change were Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. Before 2006, if I remember,
They wanted smaller balls.
They wanted smaller balls. No, they wanted the chance to use their own balls that they prepared. So before, I think it's 2006. I'm remembering you correctly. The balls were both teams just used the same footballs. During the 2006 season, after the 2006 season, they pushed for, like I said, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady with two big names that were pushing for this, where the teams prepared the ball. So after that year, the teams provided their own game balls, and then what ended up happening is right before the game, the officials will go and check the air pressure, make sure everything was on the up and up. But the teams were allowed to prepare their game balls before the game on Sunday to their quarterback's preference, because they're the ones going to be handling the ball the most during the game.
Right.
Yeah, because quarterbacks handle the ball throughout the most game.
Typically, they touch the football
the most.
Yes.
They're always touching balls. So
Right.
the
Hands constantly on the balls.
So what ended up happening is the Patriots balls were underinflated. And that's what came out. So, this whole controversy whether they knew or didn't know. My opinion, they knew. They've been doing this for years. Even though they denied it, they knew.
All right.
Quarterbacks knows is football. My thing is, I don't know how you feel about this. Is that big of a deal?
Right.
Do you think it's a big deal?
Because of the score, no. If the score had been tighter, I think yes.
Yes. Okay. Now there's another theory. I don't know if you heard this.
Because it was a blowout.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So let's take it beyond the AFC Championship, and let's go back through now to 2006. Okay.
Let's go back to when the balls were younger.
Yes. Okay. So this is something
Maybe firmer.
This is something that came out that some stat nerd looked into. Before 2006, the Patriots' fumble rate was about the NFL average. Right? So there's an average of how many times per carry a team fumbles the ball. I think it's
Right.
Before 2006, it was like once every 160 carries. I can't remember the
I would imagine, just from playing,
Handling the
outside
ball.
football.
Yeah, handling the football.
Even though I can't play football.
But
that
you did play semi-professionally for
it's-
those 2 years, and you were pretty good.
I was okay. I was okay.
Yeah, you were pretty good.
That if you can grip a football and squeeze it, and
You don't lose it as easily.
you will not. It's harder for someone to knock that ball out of your arms. Because
Okay.
you will,
Yeah.
if you can squeeze,
So you don't fumble it as
yeah,
much.
if you can't squeeze it,
Yes.
I would imagine just
Okay,
that's
so
the way that I don't know. That's just the way I think of it.
And so this is where the story, this is what the point they're using. Yes, before that that decision to let the teams prepare their own balls. Before that, the Patriots fumbled at about a league average. Once I forget the number. I could look it up, but it doesn't really matter. But once every 150, 160 touches or whatever. After that year, after the 2006 decision, the Patriots' fumble rate skyrocketed, and they fumbled at a lot less frequency than the second place team. So I think it went up from, like I said, if we're saying 150 once every 150 touches, the Patriots are averaging about once every 190 touches, something like that, something ridiculous like that. And the second place team was, the distance between the Patriots and the second place team was bigger than any other difference between any two teams in the league.
What year was that?
This is after that year where they decided to let the teams pick their own balls.
You don't know the year. Okay.
I think it's 2006. I'm pretty sure it's 2006. I don't know, for a reason that you're stuck in my head. So for about 8 years, which is 8 years worth of data, the Patriots all of a sudden started fumbling the ball a lot less.
Whoa!
So that's where the
My
smoking
impression of a football going wild. Just dropping it. Whoa!
So with that information, how do you feel about that now? If do you think there's any correlation to it, or do you think it's just a coincidence?
It's probably mostly coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
I
I sort of agree with you on that point because that it could be twisted to sort of
maybe they have been doing it, but maybe on and off.
yeah.
Not every game.
Yeah.
I think it's like, okay, this game's important. These guys could beat us.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try to find an edge.
Right.
But not every game. No.
You know, this is how I feel about the Patriots in general. People don't. I don't have any hate or like for the Patriots. I don't care either way. This is the thing I found interesting, and this came out when Belichick had a press conference after the Deflategate, whatever. And he one of the things I found interesting, he said this.
Still want to punch Tom Brady in the face.
Yeah, I don't like Tom Brady. But okay, so he had this, and it's a glimpse into how Belichick thinks, I think, and it's really interesting. They're talking about the balls and how he goes, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not a quarterback. I don't handle the balls. I don't know, because I will tell you this though, every week in practice before the game, I make the footballs as worst condition as they're ever gonna meet in a real game. I wet them. I make them muddy. I make them slippery. I do all this because I want to prepare them. And in a way, he's insinuating it's like I'm preparing them for what I would do if I was on the other side. I'm preparing it's almost like he's preparing his team for if I was coaching the other team, what kind of tricks would I try to do? You know?
Right.
And it's almost like he's giving a middle finger to other coaches that are whining like, oh, they cheat, they do this. It's like, then prepare for us. If you know what we're going to do before a game, then fucking prepare your team for that. And
when did he say that?
It was during the no, he didn't say all that, but I'm just saying that's what he's insinuating. He said during the press conference for the about talking about the deflated footballs. So that's essentially what he's trying to say. Is like if you know we're doing this, you're tattletaling to the league that we're cheating, then prepare your team better. You already know what we're gonna do. Prepare your team. That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to. He says he prepares his team for the worst case scenario. If the other team's gonna do something, he just prepares them for it.
Sometimes
there's
you
no
think
excuses.
it's a football, it's a grenade.
Yeah.
Something crazy, right?
Yeah, but
it's never happened, right? But it could.
Because we had that happen the week before, where John Harbaugh, the coach for the Ravens, was complaining about. He put a grenade in the field. I was like, that's not how you play the football game. I was like, well, I don't understand.
Right.
No,
15 yards.
You remember that game before the AFC Championship where they're playing the Ravens and Belichick was doing all these weird formations and John was like, timeout, that's not fair, he's cheating, and he really wasn't. It was just
eligible, ineligible. Guys.
Yeah. No, he's just playing the game
taking advantage of the
rules.
Yeah.
And in a way, saying just then prepare for it. It's not my fault you're not prepared for the schemes that I'm trying to come up with. And the thing is, every time you play the Patriots, they're gonna try to do something. Just prepare your team. It's like, okay, we know they're gonna try to do something. Let's just be prepared for it. Simple as that. Stop crying about it. That's how I feel. That's how I felt about Spygate. Spygate, all Spygate was, that the worst thing that came out of Spygate, and I think this is what made him look bad, is Goodell erasing the tapes. Don't you agree? That's the worst thing that came out of Spygate.
Yeah.
The fact that he deleted the tapes when he didn't have to.
Also, even though they had a nice excuse, did you like Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick hanging out with Roger Goodell at a party?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was after the game.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Even though they're like, well, we have a party every time we win the AFC. And
That's a lot.
That's my Belichick impression. But yeah.
No, but for me, even the Spygate thing was the worst thing that came out. It's just Goodell looked bad for don't delete the tapes. Why are you deleting the tapes? Just show them. Spygate wasn't that big of a deal. Everybody.
Why don't we just burn the Zapruder film?
Right. every team tries to get an advantage. Every team. That's why when you I don't know if you ever noticed.
So they threw me off the Kennedy investigation.
No, but
you
my
burnt the Zapruder film.
Even if you go back to Spygate, every team tries to read the other team's plays. That's the reason during the football game you see coaches put up their playbook over their lips because they got lip readers. They know the other team employs lip readers. That's a common thing.
Do you ever get mad when the team you're rooting for is it just me, and then the camera shows them and they're not covering
their lips?
lips?
And you're like, what are you doing?
And I'm like, somebody's watching this.
Yeah. If I could see it, the other team could see it.
I can't read it, but I was like, somebody's watching it.
Because they do. It's common knowledge. Other teams will employ lip readers, so they could say it. The only thing the Patriots did wrong during is they videotaped it in a position they're not supposed to videotape it. That's it. They didn't do anything else wrong. No, but I'm serious.
I know, it just sounds funny.
I know.
If I was the defendant, but like, you videotaped me in a position that you shouldn't have videotaped me in.
Yeah. Yeah, they were just in the wrong part of
the Kardashian defense.
So my thing is, okay, you know the Patriots are always going to try to push the rules. Just prepare for it.
It's more of a bend and a twist.
Yeah.
It kind of cracks and sometimes breaks.
Yeah. But like, right thing, just prepare for it. Like, stop being tattletales about it. You know. Okay, and then my other argument with Deflategate, the Patriots have been doing this whole time. Okay, who other than the quarterback, who else handles the football more than the quarterback during any game?
The running back.
Other than
the center?
No.
You're talking about off the field?
Who handles the football that has nothing to do with the team other than the quarterback? What other person on the field that has nothing to do with either team handles the ball?
Is there like an equipment manager?
No,
the ball boy? The refs.
The refs. After every play, what do they do? They grab the ball, they put it back.
They throw them a ball.
Yeah, and they put it back.
So who throws them the ball?
But they still have to catch it and grab it.
Yeah, but who throws them the ball?
I don't know. The ball boy or whatever. Whoever's handling the balls.
Continue.
But they're handling the ball before the quarterback does. Before every play, they're the one. So if the Patriots have been doing this for the last they've been saying now 80 years, ever since that rule changed, why haven't the referees ever noticed this? If it's so noticeable, all these ex-quarterbacks on ESPN be coming out and they're like, "Oh, I'm a quarterback. I know if my ball is deflated less than 2 psis, I would know it."
I mean,
how is a referee who touches footballs for a living?
I mean, they're passing the ball 3 or 4 feet, to usually the other ref, and then the center gets it, and then they hike the ball.
Yeah. So,
but I don't know. They're not squeezing it with both hands. I think they're just. I don't know.
Yeah. So obviously they're. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah.
You would think something would have come out.
You want to play something light? See how it comes out. Go ahead. Let's see how it goes. This is Jimmy Kimmel.
What a weird day it was today. Have you been following this story with the Patriots and the deflated footballs? So Tom Brady had a press conference today. Tom Brady's the quarterback for the New England Patriots. He was summoned to appear before the media to answer questions about the footballs that were mysteriously deflated in their game against the Colts last weekend. And I'll tell you something, if you weren't aware of this story, like if you just come back from a vacation in Aruba or something, you didn't know what was going on, you would think Tom Brady had killed the president's dog. It was... This press conference was covered live on all the sports networks.
If anything,
ESPN,
Tom Brady could get away with that.
Through 7, etc. And it was also live on Fox News, Fox Business Channel, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, a bunch of local channels. It was really crazy. They asked him what was basically the same question over and over again for 30 minutes, and he gave basically the same answer over and over again for 30 minutes.
Well, I just wasn't obviously aware Monday morning of, everything that had happened. I wasn't paying attention to what was happening at that time. Everyone's trying to figure out what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I didn't think anything of it. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I have no idea. I don't know. If I don't know something, I don't know something.
He doesn't know anything.
Isn't that usually the case? You don't know something? You don't know something? I find that's crazy. Yeah.
But he doesn't even know how to spell Tom.
I don't know.
Is it with an H? Because, it was originally reported that 11 of the 12 balls were underinflated, but former NFL referee Jerry Austin told ESPN all of the balls were underinflated, which was very good news for the OCD community. If the Patriots are found to have knowingly underinflated the balls, they might lose draft picks, and the league could take away Bill Belichick's favorite hoodie, which Belichick also spoke to the media today. He was not as charming as Tom Brady.
Tomorrow.
He's not a charming man. Bill Belichick is to charming what Nicole Richie is to fat. It's not... He denied all wrongdoing, but you have to keep in mind, this is a guy who also denied videotaping a rival team's signals.
He never denied it.
I did not find this statement to be particularly compelling.
He actually admitted to it.
I came in Monday morning. I was shocked to learn of the news reports about the footballs. I had no knowledge whatsoever.
I had no idea we even played with footballs.
Monday morning. I would say I've learned a lot more about this process in the last 3 days than I knew.
This isn't great for radio audience. There's that guy behind him that's
well,
obviously
at least they're keeping things inflated
messing
now.
with a pump.
But make no mistake, this is a very serious thing.
Not
Attorney
really
Gloria
there.
Allred is now representing 9 of the 11 balls Tom Brady allegedly squeezed. So this could cost him a pretty penny.
Let's do another minute 40 here. This might be funny. Do these unnecessary censorship.
Okay, this is random.
But it's with Tom Brady.
Big TV moments of the week,
I
whether
think.
they need it or not. It is this week in unnecessary censorship.
For the first time, President Obama will
it's
deliver
all
his
over the
address
place.
to a Republican-led Congress, one which has made no
Nothing
secret
to do with the Super Bowl,
of its
John.
plan to him on many fronts.
I'd like to have a conversation about the new Republican you just elected.
They made fun of her because she was a pig. How dare they?
No, this doesn't. I haven't done any football stuff.
I don't know. I guess it's a challenging thing. I'm not the balls. I'm not. I don't.
If anybody would like to me in my bedroom, we'll get started.
The Pope has reaffirmed the Church's stance against contraception, but he also said Catholics do not, quote, have to like rabbits.
Okay, we can stop that.
Okay, so
They don't have to beep like rabbits.
okay, so you got our opinion on the whole Deflategate. So that was the controversy on both teams. Okay, so John.
Wait, we have some from Shark Tank here on YouTube.
Go ahead.
Just kidding.
Okay, so
It had a picture of Tom Brady, okay?
Huh?
I said it had a picture of Tom Brady, so I pushed play.
Nice. Okay, so we're down to the nitty gritty. It's coming to the end of the show, and it's time, John. It's the moment of the Super Bowl show that everybody waits for. Our picks on who we think is going to win. Okay, so just to read you the lines, most places that I'm looking at have them as a pick'em or a -1, which is Seattle, -1 or a pick'em.
Right.
And is that what you're seeing as well?
Yeah.
Seattle -1 or a pick'em. So essentially, they're saying it's going to be a very close game, which I do agree on.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
go on.
I've originally, beginning of the year, I picked Patriots Seattle to go to Super Bowl, and then I picked the Patriots to win it. The past week, I've been really edging towards Seattle. I've been thinking about it. I'm like,
you want to
Seattle.
do something kind of fun?
What's that?
Write your score down, give it to me, and I'll write mine down and give it to you.
We'll do that. Okay, so like I said, I've been thinking about all week. Seattle gonna win. I think they might. I might flip my choice. You know.
Right.
But can you give me a piece of paper?
That was your piece of paper.
Oh, are you giving me a piece of paper?
I
thought you were writing a score.
No. That's yours to write down,
Okay.
and then we'll.
So I just want to keep. Okay. So yeah. So I was leaning towards Seattle. I was like, maybe I'm gonna flip my pick all week long. You know, and it makes sense. You know, there's a reason Seattle's -1. You know.
That was the first time I've seen the line move today. I think.
Yeah.
It's been New England all week.
Yeah, but I've been leaning towards Seattle. I don't know why. I was gonna change my pick. But it just I had this gut feeling, John. Do you write your score? Here's my score. I'll put it upside down.
Hold on. Hold yours for a second.
I will paper airplane it over to you.
That was exhausting.
That seemed exhausting. Okay, so that paper airplane didn't work. Okay, so we can't have dead air time, John. Okay.
Yeah. They can't hear my thoughts.
Yeah, they can, John. As much as you think they can. Okay, so like I said, I already gave you, so I won't change it. Okay, so I'll just keep talking. Do you ever made your choice?
No.
Okay. All right. So I was thinking about flip flopping from my original Patriots pick, right, to Seattle for the most of the week. Then the last 2 days, I don't know. It flipped back. I'm gonna stick to my original. I say don't take the -1 with Seattle right now, which is currently at. I say take New England, and I think New England's gonna win 27-24, and that's my pick for the Super Bowl. And if you don't fold that piece of paper,
okay,
you will see.
Hold on.
27-24.
Okay. You already know that I don't like Seattle in this game.
You don't like Seattle in this game.
I love Seattle in this game.
You love Seattle in this game.
So we are on a totally opposite
Which is
sides.
fun. Which is fun.
It's like we were last year.
We were last year. Yeah, you picked Seattle last year, and you're right.
Right.
What is your reasoning?
It's just in my gut, man.
That's fine. It's just it's a really because you know what? It is a close game. I mean, there's a reason to pick them -1.
You want to read my score?
Yeah. Okay.
My
so
score's
John,
a little more lopsided.
So John thinks Seattle's going to win 31-20.
Right.
It's going to be one of those weird scores where Seattle has a safety.
Well, we both got the over.
Yeah, the over-under is 47.5 on most books.
Yeah, I like 31-20 Seattle.
Which is a good feeling.
I think that this all is going to take place, special teams, what happens, you're going to see a lot of 3-and-outs.
Uh-huh.
And then I think Seattle will wear them down. I see Seattle's defense scoring some points. Mm-hmm. At the very least, I say 10.
Yeah.
13, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And I just, at the very end, I see New England not settling for field goals and going for touchdowns and not getting them.
Yeah.
And turning the ball over. And field position will be so important.
Yeah.
And we got the quarterback that can run.
They do. And you know what?
Even though you say you can prepare for a read option, you can't prepare for a read option.
It's hard. It's hard.
We'll put in a spy.
Well,
your spy just, he's over there.
And you know what? And the thing that was getting me away from New England is the fact that, the recency bias. Everybody saw how bad Seattle was in the NFC Championship. They just think, they're going to beat that bad. No, you just saw Russell Wilson play probably the worst game of the year, and he still won the game. He's not going to have that bad of a game again. Not right after.
Right.
So it's not going to be as easy as, Green Bay made it seem to be. It's just...
So I'm sure we'll have some off-the-air bet. But if you want to win money, take Seattle.
So
if not, listen to Matt here.
So if you want to listen to the guy who jumped off the Patriots bandwagon and didn't think Seattle was even going to make the playoffs, go with John.
So now I'm the unbiased pick. If you want to listen to the guy that's been riding the bandwagon all year, he's trying to ride it all the way to broke.
You want to listen to the guy?
He's trying to ride it all the way to your bookie coming to your house and breaking those knees.
You listen to the guy who's...
If you want fresh knees and a full wallet, Seattle.
You want to listen to the guy who picked Seattle and New England to make it the Super Bowl beginning of the year and picked New England. You could pick this guy.
The law of averages says he's wrong.
So you got our picks. I think it's always interesting when we disagree. I don't think we've agreed on a Super Bowl in a while.
No, probably not.
Yeah, I'm usually always right. So just take that with a grain of salt.
Buy the Seahawks gear tonight because it's going to be way more expensive tomorrow night.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know, man.
I don't think winning Super Bowl actually gives them that much. Unless you were talking like Super Bowl winning.
Yeah.
But
let's just say there's kids in third world countries that are going to be wearing New England Super Bowl gear next week.
I always found that weird, right? Because they have to print both of them. And
They're ready to go right after the game.
When I was a kid, I always went like, how did they have them ready? I didn't know about the story.
Magic.
It's like there's somewhere like there's like some poor like kid during the early 90s who has like 4 years straight of Buffalo Bills Super Bowl champion like sweaters.
Who thinks they've won 4 Super Bowls?
Yeah. They think Jim Kelly is the greatest quarterback of all time. It's like this guy won 4 Super Bowls in a row. Like how is he not? Like was he not in the Hall of Fame right after his last game?
They all have the shirts on that are way too big for them, and they're playing Pee Wee football in the dirt.
Do you think Jim Kelly's a god? You think Jim Kelly's a god, and you think everybody else is dirt?
They all go to the whatever church or synagogue or worship place they go to, and they worship Jim Kelly.
Yeah, the man who won 4 Super Bowls in a row.
The bill has the actual buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Somehow there's buffalo there.
Even though they're not indigenous to that part of the world.
And they're like a sacred animal because
of Jim Kelly.
Because of the T-shirts and the wins that they think occurred that never did.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need more charity numbers.
All right, so you got our picks. This is the Big Super Bowls podcast. This is the big thing. You got our picks. We will see next week who's right and who's wrong. We have it on tape, John. We can't erase this. This is going to go on the internet. You know, whatever goes on the internet stays there forever. So,
like your wrong picks.
Okay, so with that we're gonna leave it for another week. Hopefully you're listening to this before the Super Bowl, so you can make your picks. Or you can listen to it after. It's still enjoyable, even though you know what happened. It's still enjoyable, all right?
Yeah.
So, so I will try to put this up tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. You should be hearing it, or bright and early, John. You could be listening to this podcast with your.
And I'm not a fan of either team.
Oh yeah,
just to make that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of either team. I have no NFL team.
Says the guy wearing the hoodie.
I am wearing a hoodie, but it's not
a Belichick hoodie.
It's not a Belichick hoodie. I have my sleeves on.
Yeah.
I have an uncircumcised hoodie right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm total NFL.
Seattle wins, covers the spread, it goes over, blah blah blah. Actually, don't quote me on the over. Stay away from the over under. But Seattle wins this game and have fun.
Okay, so with that, we will leave you for another week. But you know what? Let's before we leave you for another week, let's just take some advice from a very, very wise man who has from him, quoting from him, he quotes. This is a direct quote from him. Has picked the Super Bowl winner right for 40 years straight.
He said that?
He said that, and he told me, this is where I got my advice. He told me Patriots are winning, so.
You should not drink and bake.
Yeah, we get that great advice from our ex-California governor, Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, that we leave you another week. We will see you next week with maybe another one of our we're like I said, we're changing our format a little bit.
Our format is going through puberty.
We will give you different interesting podcasts this year. We are trying to expand. So next week we're going to try to, we're planning on something, different. So if you liked last week's, which
I've seen you before. You're the asshole on TV.
We'll give you another interesting a different type of podcast. Malarkey hour.
That's how I would greet Tom Brady.
Would you?
I've seen you before. You're the asshole on TV.
That is a great way to greet Tom Brady, isn't it?
That's exactly how I would greet Tom Brady.
Everybody should greet Tom Brady.
After he loses the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Okay.
3 Super Bowl losses in a row. You can't go against the streak, baby.
Okay, and with that, we will leave you for another week. We will see you next week with another interesting podcast. Hope you enjoy the Super Bowl.
Bet the Seahawks.
This is our Christmas. So
yeah, we're Jewish, so yeah,
we're Jewish. So all right, so we will leave for another week, and I hope you enjoyed our second annual Super Bowl podcast.
Thank you, Matt Steinberg.
Yes. All right. With that, we will see you next week. Bye bye.